So here's a quick little video about the campaign. It's not the official video, but I'll feel like an asshole if I don't actually give you anything before I go on vacation. So here we are. The campaign is called Clear Paths and Some Change. It's a Spelljammer campaign, so expect space and stuff. And it's going to start at level 5 and expect to get level 8 about 2/3 into it. There are 3 different environments that we might go through, maybe even more, it depends. The first main one is Talaran, which is like the main hub and the starting point of this whole adventure. Then it's going to be on a Spelljammer ship, which is going to be going through like the astral and everything like that. Then once we reach our destination, we'll go into like a city metropolitan area, which is in an asteroid. Let's talk about Talaran because that's where we're going to be starting. First off, it looks like a goddamn desert, but doesn't actually feel like a desert because the average temperature is 88 degrees. Except for in the summertime. The weather is lethal at summertime. A cute little detail is that the sand is red, so the planet looks red. And a better detail is that there are lagoons and oases everywhere. It looks like a mosaic glass art of red and aqua that can be viewed by space. So the bad part about this is that food is still a thing and mostly it grows near water, so these oasis areas are the most contested when it comes to territorial war. And some civilizations also build around there because that's what makes sense. Well, let's see who lives here actually. We got centaur boys, insect boys, dragon boys, lion boys, lizard boys, and monkey boys, and also the blue boys. They're our main squeeze. If you're one of these races, then you're going to have a social buff because this is literally your home. Otherwise, you are a visitor of this planet from the centaur boys. Let me explain. Storytime. Long ago, the cosmos were made by 3 demiurges. Demiurge Time, Demiurge Space, and Demiurge Matter. There was a disagreement between them, which prompted the end of all things, an apocalyptic event that is the ultimate end for any given universe, and all life. Obviously. Demiurge Matter was like, oh no, you can't do that to my creation. Demiurge Space was like, I don't care. So Demiurge Matter went and sacrificed herself so they can give life energy to all of humanity so they can fend off Armageddon. She uses her last breath to kick some ass and send Demiurge Space to the bumblefuck of the null. Remember that life energy that she gave all humanity? Yeah, that's kind of important because now they can use the same magic as gods, which is life energy, aka etheric magic. And this kind of magic is the sauce, because it can go through all sources of life, like butter. But after a century or so later, etheric magic started becoming more of a lost art. Less people knew about it, the people who did died, and maybe even some propaganda. I don't know, but they started to forget it. And conveniently, there are whisperings that the end of all things is upon us once again. Ooblish, our first boy, actually figured out that the end of all things was happening. He's a legendary traveler, descendant of a legendary Aether user, and he basically fucked around and found out. But when he found out, he decided to dedicate his entire being to stopping the end of all things. And that's why he's best boy number 1. Tragically, when he went back to his home planet to tell them about the end of the world, his planet spontaneously combusted. Nah, I'm just kidding. Only the Delnemian Empire came and massacred everyone. It was discovered later that a Spelljammer ship successfully escaped from the destruction, traveling into the Astral Sea, disconnecting themselves from the Astral Network so they won't be followed by the Delnemian Empire and also the Guardians. You guys probably already know about the Guardians, but the Guardians are part of Centurion, which is part of universal law. They basically enforce the balance of the entire universe, generally looked at as the good guys. Well, not to the survivors, because they don't particularly like the Guardians because they didn't help them out through that Denemian Empire thingy. Like, why am I paying for an HOA when it doesn't give me any advantages? So Ooblish went down and slid in their DMs and was just like, I see that you don't have a god right now. Mind if I be that? They were like, no, we just went through a breakup, you're gonna have to earn it. And respectfully exiled him, saying gods don't walk amongst men. Ooblish was like, fair enough, and decided to keep a watchful eye on them from a distance. The survivors traveled for months, finally found the red planet of Talaran, went down, mingled with the centaur boys for a little bit, just to get their bearings on the place, and they decided that this is their home. They teleported to the planet, destroyed the teleporter, forbid anyone of doing the act of traveling or saying anything about traveling, and said, I'm an independent blue person, I don't need no guardians. And it actually worked. These started to thrive, calling themselves Toleranites instead of Serenians. After 2 generations of kin, comes Sigmos, our second blue boy. He was a very odd child, and also very short, but boy was he a good engineer. One of the great ones, in fact. He had the natural ability to use Aether with his machines. He didn't even know how he did it. He just went purely off of intuition. And after he received mentoring from the mystical Samaritan, which was Ublish in disguise and was promptly exiled after he was caught, Sigmos will make devices and machines that will contribute to the societal progression, earning him the title of the Great Engineer at the age of 55. So now here's where we are currently. The Centaur boys had gained enough intelligence to want to connect with the astral network. This is a great step for them and their societal growth, but this is a bad thing for us because we're on the run from the Delnemians and don't want to be tracked by the Guardians either. So we start beefing with the Centaur boys, and it starts getting dark. To the point where the clergy, which is their leadership by the way, start talking about attacking the Centaur boys on the record. Until Sigmos comes and kicks in the door with a new machine, allowing the clergy to talk to Ublish and ask him for guidance. He basically said let the Centaur boys do what they want, and instead beef up our defensive in case we don't like who comes out of that portal. He offers to teach them the lost magic of Aether. The clergy agreed with Ublish's plead, and the clergy proposed the idea to the Centaur boys as a truce. Even though the Centaur boys are a little salty about all of the racism and death threats, the Centaur boys gave them 1 month to beef up their defenses in exchange for information about the creatures that are in the astral. Done. So they're like, cool, we got a month. What now? And Ublish says that he has a plan. And here's where we are, and here's where I'm going to drop you off. Basically, Yadim is the assistant of Sigmos, and he's looking for travelers to go into a special mission. The rest is in the Google Docs. Good luck. Bye-bye.